Good evening and welcome to this broadcast of the Heart of Lakes Conference matchup here between the Pelican Rapids boys basketball team, the home team on the scoreboard, and you're visiting Perham Yellowjackets. It's going to be an exciting night here of basketball on a Friday night. For anyone who wasn't able to make it over to the game here in these blizzard-like conditions outside, it's exciting. I'm glad you're here to watch us. Watch us with us here on the live stream. I am Logan Orr, and I'm joined alongside Mr. John Peter, JP as I'll call him throughout the broadcast. This is going to be an exciting night of basketball. It's always a good night when Perham and Pelican come together to play, don't you think, JP?
Absolutely. It's been a rivalry for years and years within the Heart of Lakes Conference, dating back to even the 70s and 80s when these teams famously in 1984 got snowed in together in Perham and had the Pelican team had to stay overnight in the Perham gymnasium. So yeah, it's a rivalry that dates back a long time.
I tell you what, if we got snowed in 2016 when my team was trying to play them, I would not have played a second game or anything. It was not as competitive as it was back in '84. That was the year of the state championship team, wasn't it, in Pelican Rapids?
That's correct. What do you got for starting lineups tonight,
So
Logan?
the starting lineups here for Perham Yellowjackets is going to be 3 juniors and 2 seniors here. For Perham, number 1, Micah Thompson, a 6'4" junior. Number 2, Charles Melvin, he's a 6-foot senior. Number 3, the leading scorer for Perham, that's Soren Anderson. He's a 6'4" junior. And number 4, Marcus Belka, he's a 5'10" senior. And finally, number 13, Jacob Daniels, he's a 6'2" junior. For the Pelican Rapids Vikings here, we have number 2, Braden Ecker, a senior. He is 6'3". Number 11, Tanner Tollerud, a 6'2" forward. And also Timmy Guler, a 5'10" sophomore. Hunter Williams, a 6'2" junior. And Ian Fay back in the lineup here after a little bit of ankle issues earlier. That's number 30. He's a 6'6" junior. They're looking ready to tip it off here in Pelican Rapids. We're glad you could join us here. Fay goes against here. That was Fay going against Anderson, and Anderson's going to lead the tip. Anderson is one of those players that I was told to look out for here. He did have 27 points in Perham's last game. They played Detroit Lakes this week, and they beat them 81-57 in the brand new facility that they have at Detroit Lakes. I don't know if you heard about that, JP, but it's a brand new facility they have at Detroit Lakes. It's pretty exciting. And
it's hard to miss a new gym named the Lake Shirts Fieldhouse when it's all over every headline. So yeah, new gymnasium in Detroit Lakes, but Perham spoiled the entry for the Lakers on Tuesday night.
Guler's going to bring it up here for the Vikings in a 0-0 score. Tollerud has it here on the far wing. He'll see if Hunter Williams can reverse it. He does. Guler has it over here in the corner. Ecker now surveys. A lot of guys on the perimeter for Pelican. Both teams here, you're probably going to see a lot of perimeter movement. Both of them have some pretty good size, but also guys that can handle it outside. So it is exciting. Kind of a new generation of basketball, as you see. Not as much big guy movement. Tollerud gets it poked away there. That was Marcus Belka trying to get in, but Fay's going to come up with the loose ball and start the scoring for both teams. 2-0 here early in this one. Bringing it up here is Micah Thompson for Perham. He'll play the point for the Yellowjackets. Belka puts it up, no good. Williams comes up with the rebound. Williams here at the elbow tries to get it to Ecker. Slow down the offense. Let's see if we can run something again here. Guler on the far wing. Guarding him is Belka. Seems like somewhat of a defensive specialist. Although all of Perham's defenses, you know for sure, head coach Dave Cressup always has a good defense, as Williams is able to get the second bucket for the Vikings here. That's something head coach Dave Cressup, he is a staple in Heart of Lakes Conference basketball. He's been around as long as I can remember watching a basketball game here in Pelican Rapids. Ecker going coast to coast. He'll find it to Guler. He's trapped in the corner now, dead. He's going to try and get rid of it. It's going to get poked away, and Williams gets on the floor, finds his way to Guler, who's going to put up for a 3. No good. Weak side rebound, Ecker. Williams is going to throw it up. That's going to be short. Rebounded by Soren Anderson. Excuse me, that was Jacob Daniels on the board. Soren Anderson, he's going to jump stop in, make a shot fake, and he'll finish. He opens the scoring for Perham. Now it is 4-2 Vikings early here.
course, Anderson is their top scorer this season, coming in at averaging 21.7 points a game. A little bit overshadowed in that last matchup with Detroit Lakes, but he definitely is their top scorer.
That's really something important to notice, JP, and see what they do here, because Perham has always had that. They have a dude, they have their leading scorer, but you got to watch out for who's going to be the shooter today. They always have 2 or 3 guys that can shoot if they're open, so we're going to see how that pans out here in this one. Guler, near side wing, reverses it to Tollard. He gets it over to Ecker. Ecker's going to drive baseline. He puts it up, contested, misses everything, and it's going to be scooped up here. That was Thompson who came up with the loose ball. Anderson's going to dump it into Daniels. Good movement down low. Coming away with it, no good. Melvin finds his way back out to Anderson. He'll try and start something. Looking to get a screen from Daniels. It's stolen by Tollard. Tollard's got a one-on-one layup here, and it's going to get blocked by Anderson, but it'll be out of bounds here. Baseline out of bounds. Pelican will enter it as the first substitutes come into the game here. For Pelican Rapids, number 33, Peyton Blakeway, and number 3, Luke Soley. They're going to come in here for Fay and Ecker. Guler looking to get it in bounds here. Nothing doing, and that's going to get stolen away by Micah Thompson. He'll try coast to coast, but not before a foul is called on the floor on Peyton Blakeway here. It's going to open up the foul calling here for the referees. It's going to be a baseline inbound here. Thompson's going to get it. He'll hand it off over here to Belka. Anderson now, near side wing. He's going to get a screen from Daniels. The classic scramble offense by Perm. They've had this in play for the last, 10 years, probably ever since Cresp has been here. And it has been really, really popular. As Anderson's going to go ahead and get 2 more points. He has the first 4 points early here for Perham. Peyton Blakeway reverses it over here to Guler. Nothing doing, no pressure. Going to be patient here on this side of the floor. Something I haven't seen yet from this boys team it's really good to see today. Early, they've been patient, but Soley's going to get called here for the travel in the key, or in the lane, excuse me, and it's going to go the other way. Thompson. Far side wing. He's looking for a cutter. Had Daniels for a minute there down on the block, but he's going to wait for something better. Daniels will give him a screen. They're going to go ahead and double it. Blakeway tries to rotate over, but Daniels is able to get it. Thompson now in the corner here. They're going to leave Anderson open. He's going to pull up for 3. He's going to miss, and Guler's going to come away with the rebound. He's going to try and move it in transition. Blakeway here looking to get it into Williams. Kick back out. Blakeway, 3-point shot is good. 7-4 Vikings here with 12:45 and ticking here in the first half. We're glad you're joining us here. Ooh, that's going to be an and one opportunity here for Marcus Belka as he puts it up and gets a foul as well. Really strong take there by Marcus Belka, and he'll go to the line for one more here. The head coach of the Pelican Rapids Vikings is John Gullinger. JP, you had a chance to catch up with John Gullinger before the game and hear about his keys to success today.
Yeah, Gully always gives us keys to the game whenever we do a game, and he talked about tonight they need to get out and contest shooters. He said we need to find a way to disrupt the timing on offense. They run that kind of scrambly offense like Logan was talking about, but there is timing to it. There is a method to Dave Cressup's madness, and they really wanted to disrupt what they are trying to do. And then he said we need to move the ball with pace on offense in order to get good shot attempts. And so far tonight we've seen that from the Vikings on the offensive end. On the defensive end, they've struggled a little bit. We saw Anderson with the open 3 early, and the contested shot down here just now, of course, was the foul called on Fay. And that's not quite the contesting that Coach Gullinger is looking for. But so far, so good on the offensive end for the Vikings, and that's why we find ourselves 7-7.
And Faye is going to answer that and one here and make it 9-7. You know, that's a really good point, is the difference between patience and intensity on offense. Being able to have that patience, have that ability to pass the ball, but then when you're making those cuts, when you're making those drives, you do it with high intensity. On this side, Thompson's going to kick it up here to Daniels. Daniels finds Anderson over here. He's going to get a screen to him. Like he said, the intensity on defense is going to be really important. It's important with all those moving parts. I know in the past, Gullingsrud has looked to incorporate switches on those screens to keep Perm on their toes and figure out who's guarding who. And it's really important on those switches to communicate and stay together here. That pass is deflected, and Perm's going to keep it on this side of the floor. And
even on this possession here, Logan, we're seeing a lot of communication on defense, especially on the weak side from our Viking defenders here. Especially Tanner Tollerud in this last series was quite loud with his teammates on where to go. And it allows them to fill the gaps.
Daniels' pass is going to get intercepted by Ecker, who slams it home. This Vikings team is dangerous if you get them in the open floor, and Ecker just showed them why here. It's a big momentum swinger, and that should help this defense. Blakeway's going to get a steal here, and he'll try and finish. Could not make it happen. Thompson is going to bring it the other way, up to Anderson. Anderson is able to find, that was Melvin down there. He gets it back outside. They're going to slow it down, try and get an open shot here. That's going to be no tip, and they're going to call it off of Alex Ohm. That is a 5'9 junior. He entered the game in a substitution during that free throw. So Ohm with a little bit of a turnover here for the Vikings. And I tell you what, defense is 75% energy, 25% execution. I just threw those numbers out of my butt, but that's exactly what I think. What do you think, JP?
Well, we're seeing the intensity of the Vikings ended the West Central game with. Although they lost, they were down by quite a bit late, and they were able to through their intensity and pressure on defense, bring the game back into a competitive affair, and we've seen them basically pick up right where they left off, and that's creating these opportunities for them offensively. And
I tell you what, Perm has always set the standard for that intensity. For years, Dave Cressup has put a great team together to have that kind of intensity and communication on defense. So they are definitely the model team, and you have to match that if you're going to have any success tonight. Right now it is 11-7, though, with 10:41 in the first half. The Vikings have an early edge. Tollerud finds Faye, and the rest did not call a whistle until a second after, but they did call a foul there on the shot, and Faye's going to go to the line for two here.
Micah Thompson picking up his first foul of the evening, second team foul on the Yellowjackets.
And I was going ahead to think about how these teams stand in the Heart of Lakes Conference right now. Pelican Rapids is currently third in the standings with a 1-0 conference record, 4-3 overall. Perham instead is 1-1 in the conference, but they are 5-1 overall. I tell you what, with the weather situations these last couple weeks and then the precautions with COVID into the holiday, there have been a lot of wacky things going on with the schedule here.
The conference standings are a bit of a hodgepodge right now to look at, just because so many teams spend their pre-Christmas time playing non-conference games, and so it's hard to tell where teams really stand. What we do know is Perham's got a good record and has played a lot of good teams so far.
Melvin's three is no good. Sully comes up with the rebound. He's going to bring it the other way for the Vikings. Tollerud looking to do something. He's caught in the lane here. Guler with a back cut. He's going to finish strong and get an and one opportunity.
Seeing tremendous teamwork so far from the Vikings. Something in the previous couple of games has been a little bit lacking, a little bit more individual, but we're seeing really good communication, really good teamwork, and that leads to good things for this very athletic Vikings team.
That is the truth. This is some athletes. We have some athletes on this team, and it was always a question, I think, of can we execute and can we be consistent, and that's what we've been able to do for the first 8 minutes here. Let's see what we can do for the last 10 of this first half. Thompson is going to bring it over here on the right. Thompson, far wing. He's going to get a screen from Daniels in that motion offense. He's going to swing it over here to, that's Belka, back in the game. Anderson making things happen. Thompson down low with a great look, and he's going to score for two. Tell you what, Thompson is the kind of guy as a point guard to have that kind of size, and I'm sure he can shoot it. He hasn't yet, but he seems like a very key player here for the Yellowjackets early.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a point guard who's 6'4" and you're playing in high school, it's a little bit. West Central had a point guard last week who was 6'5", and we saw his ability to control the game and affect the game kind of at will. And we're seeing that again a little bit here with Thompson.
Brady Petznick is into the game here for the first time. That's number 22 for the Vikings. Soley is going to try and dump it to Fay. Who's going to try and score here? A little too strong off the glass. It's going to be rebounded there by Melvin. Thompson one more time is going to bring it up the floor. See if they can get into this offense. Thompson, far corner. Gets a screen from Daniels. That's going to be tipped by Tollerud. Tollerud still reaching for it. Still going to be hauled in by Anderson, and Daniels is going to try and get it to a guard here. He does. Thompson looking to drive baseline. Guler says no. Now it's a bit of a mismatch here with Petznick on Thompson. And Cressup wants to talk things over here, so Perm is going to take their first timeout of the game with this score being 14-9, about halfway through this first half.
And we look 30-second timeout by Coach Cressup. Of course, Coach Cressup has been he is the longest tenured coach in the AHOL, right up there with Coach Hendrickson over in Barnesville. But of course, looking at what Perham has done this season, they're currently ranked 6th in the state. They're ranked 12th in the state. They just took down over the holiday break in their Grand 8 tournament. They took down the number 6 ranked team in the state, Sox Center. Their lone loss of the season is a 57-52 matchup with Barnesville in the second game of the year. And as Logan has said earlier tonight, they are known for outstanding defense. They held a high-powered Detroit Lakes team this past Tuesday at only 19 points in the first half. And, of course, tomorrow night, Perham's heading east, and just in far east. They're heading to Esco to play the Eskimos at 4 p.m.
Hopefully that south wind holds off for them to get across these roads here.
Esco, of course, the number 4 team in the state right now with a 7-1 record. And we'll talk more about Esco later this evening.
I tell you what, that's something Perm has always done a really good job of, is they schedule non-conference games to find themselves getting challenges early in the season, late in the season, in a way that if they found their way to the state tournament, they could potentially, give that challenge and see those other styles of programs around the state. That's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be a second turnover here from Perm. But, we had talked a lot about the Vikings' intensity on defense, but that has been the standard here from head coach Dave Cressup. He's been one of those guys, and I'm telling you, I said it as long as I can remember. I have a vivid memory of me in 5th grade in 2009 watching Brad Strand for the Pelican Rapids Vikings and Cressup going toe-to-toe, squatting here, moving there, and really just a great couple programs to watch. And I'm glad that this rivalry looks like it's been re-energized a little bit here as of late.
Absolutely.
Williams here, near side wing. He's going to find it to Soley. Soley's going to do a one-dribble pull-up. That 15-footer goes down. So Soley extends the lead to 7 here. Thompson's going to walk it back up the floor here to try and make something happen. The truth of the matter is, if the shots go down, you have a chance to win any game, and they have so far for the Vikings. Thompson's strong drive. He's going to get almost tied up in the lane, but he has a strong finish there, a little 8-foot bunny. Strong move by Thompson. That was impressive to watch. Guler, settle it down, focus in, finds it to Rested over here in the corner. Chase Rested found his way into the game here when we were talking. Better mention that. Chase Rested is a 5'7" senior. He'll middle drive, nothing doing. Kick it back out to Williams. Vikings very patient on this drive here, or on this possession. Want to make sure the intensity is still there when they make it. Guler's going to pull up from 18. After all the patience, it turned into a one-dribble ISO jumper. Did not go. And now Belka's going to take his first 3 of the game. That's no good. Might have been a second. I can't confirm. JP's my stats guy. As Guler drives to the hole, and he's going to draw a foul and go ahead and get 2 shots for the Vikes.
When the Vikings have been able tonight to get out in transition, they've been having luck, whether it's making the basket or getting to the free throw line. And in the half-court set, they've had to be patient. They've had a little bit of luck with pick and roll so far near top of the key. About 3 times they've freed up their players with that, as Timmy Guler misses the first.
Coming back in here for the Vikings is Tollerud, Ecker, and Blakeway. He'll give Rested, Soli, and Faye a little bit of a breather. That's another thing I've noticed with this Viking squad is they have a pretty deep bench. They go 8-9 deep from game to game. It's something that is definitely an asset for Coach Gullingsrud. Guler's able to hit his second free throw here. And Daniels is going to bring it into Thompson for the Perm Yellowjackets. Trailing 17-11 are the Perm Yellowjackets, trying to make something happen. There's going to be a trap from the Vikings. Guler's going to come away with the ball, get it to Williams, but it's going to be temporarily there stolen by Belka, but his foot was on the line, so it'll stay with Pelican on the baseline.
Interesting to see the double team there coming out in the half-court set from the Vikings.
That was.
And that looked like a designed call from Coach Gullingsrud versus just a reaction by Timmy Guler. So a few little wrinkles here the Vikings are throwing at the Jackets that they haven't maybe seen in the last few years.
That's something you'll see from Gullingsrud after a free throw especially. If it's a time to put something together, it would be during a free throw when you can get your guys collected and talk about maybe, hey, if he makes this on defense, let's switch it up to a zone or some kind of trap. After things go. Blakeway's not going to get that to go. Coming up with that rebound there for the Jackets was Joshua Peterson, who entered the game. Blakeway has the ball, and he'll get it up to Ecker here. Ecker kicks it to Williams. Little 8-foot jumper, no good short. Bringing up now is Alex Ohm for the Jackets. That's going to go ahead and get blocked by the Vikes here. And Guler's going to get one to drop. So Guler comes up with the rock, goes coast to coast, scores for two, and makes it 19-11 with 5 minutes to go here in the first half. I was hearing this, is the Vikings have not beaten the Perm Yellowjackets in what I had heard was 8 years, JP, and I had heard that wasn't since Ryan Brueggemann was playing for the Vikings, and I think I probably remember that game that was here in Pelican Rapids.
Yeah, it's certainly been a while.
And Thompson's going to go ahead and score for the Jackets. That's his 6th point of the game here. He has 6. Soren Anderson has 4 of the 13 for Perm. Ecker finds his way to Guler. Just like that, the Vikings find themselves in a patience mode. And just as I say that, Guler's going to jack up a 3, and that's not going to quite drop. Thompson's going to find his way into the lane and see if he can make something happen. He gets smothered by 3 Vikings, and they're going to keep it moving here. Ohm with the ball here. He'll try and center, and it's going to get Tollerud with a little bit of a blocking foul on the perimeter. That'll be on the side inbound for Perm, as it looks like Pelican's going to go to some more substitutions. Guler and Ecker are going to get a break as Luke Soli and Ian Fay come in for the Vikes.
Certainly rotations are going to be key tonight if the Vikings want to keep this intensity up throughout the night. It takes energy, just like we've seen with the girls program all year. When you play with high intensity, when you play defense the way the boys are playing tonight, it's going to require more energy than you're maybe used to.
That's one of those coaches' mentalities that you forget about all the time is, I want you to play so hard that you ask me to come out of the game. You know what I mean? Tell me I'm playing so hard, I'm so out of breath, I need a breather, right? And that's something that you'd love to have, and especially if you have 9 guys. It's not as easy if you have 6, right? If you have 6 guys that are on your squad. So hopefully the Vikings can keep this intensity up as the game goes on. Ooh, fancy spin move by Thompson as he finds his way into the lane. That was pretty. Go to the middle, find his way, spin back baseline. Tollerud's going to put up a little bit of a finger roll. Little finger roll floater. No glass there, but it's 2 points either way. Anderson, a lot of spin moves here, but that's going to get blocked by Fay. And it looks like it's going to be out of bounds on Anderson. His foot must have been on the line, or the ball must have gone out of bounds before he was able to hit it off Fay's foot. Good hustle play. Knocked out some chairs down there by the Vikings bench. Tyden Maric over there on the Vikings bench almost got taken out. He's laughing about it as we speak. Blakeway down here on the near side block is going to get it back out to the top to Fay, who's going to reevaluate. Soli, nothing doing. He'll step it back to the circle. He's guarded by Anderson. Blakeway probably gets away with a travel there on the perimeter, but he's going to continue to reverse it around. Blakeway almost gets it taken away, but Tollerud has it here. Lots of middle drives, not doing much here for the Vikes. The interesting thing is the shot clock has not been incorporated yet here in the high school boys basketball. It sounds like it is coming soon, but that was one of those possessions there. It did come up empty, but it probably took 45 seconds off of this clock. Ohm is going to reverse it over here to Melvin. Now over in the far side to Thompson. Micah Thompson looking to do something. He'll veer into the middle of the lane. Find Ohm down low, who kicks it out to Melvin. It's a good-looking shot. Did not go, and it's going to get rebounded by Tanner Tollerud. Let's see what the Vikings can do going to the other end. Fay down low here, 15 feet. He's dead in the corner. Thompson had a hand on ball, but it's going to be called a foul. Looks like he was reaching over the back in a way that drew a push of some kind here, and so that
he was definitely looking for the jump ball call, but in the precarious position he found himself, it's hard to give a jump ball.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you're on one foot and you have one hand on the ball, and Fay sitting there with two hands trying to get it away here. It's not easy to get that call, but
interesting wrinkle for the Jackets now with Thompson going to the bench with 2 fouls. Only a minute 46 to play here in the first half, but even still, storyline developing for the Jackets.
That was the Jackets' 6th team foul, so the next foul that they have will put them in this single bonus. This one will be just on the floor foul, and Guler's going to take it out here from the baseline. Finds Williams on the elbow. They're going to reverse elbows to Fay. Guler is able to get a screen from Williams at the top here. Now Williams, 17 feet, is going to survey against Daniels, and he's going to back him down, turn around, and shoot right in his face. 6-footer. That is good, and that makes it a 23-15 game here with a minute and a half to go in the first half.
Williams, of course, leading the Vikings with 65% field goal percentage from the field this season so far, keeping it up there.
It's incredibly efficient, and looks like Melvin's going to kick it to Daniels. The big boy's going to shoot a 3, and that's no good. I tell you what, Perham hasn't been able to get one of those perimeter shots to fall yet. Fay, little hesitation down low. He's going to try and make it work, and that finds its way into the bucket. Some of these shots by the Vikings, I swear, they're just finding its way into the bottom of the net, and I'm not sure how. They're going to call a kick here before anything. It's going to stay with Perham on the baseline. It's one of those things. Basketball's a funny game. When you have two teams with high intensity playing with passion right here, at the end of the day, then it just comes down to what shots are going in, what shots aren't.
Well, and sometimes your intensity makes your luck in a game like this, and the Vikings are playing at a different level than we've seen all season, which is exciting for Vikings fans, both watching and in the gym tonight.
That's one of those things you can't expect. I believe their game on Tuesday did get postponed because of weather. They were going to play East Grand Forks, but there was no way East Grand was going to make it down here with the blizzard-like conditions. So the Vikings have been hungry to play a game. And they finally got Perm on a Friday night, which is always, you do not need to be motivated to play that game.
Timmy Guler bringing the ball up the floor for the Vikings. Looks like they're going to hold for one final shot. Timmy better get across half court. Finally does.
19 seconds left. Looks like they're going to wait for the final shot. Williams wants to give Guler a screen, but they still have 13 seconds, so there's no rush. Now 11. Trying to drive baseline. Toller tried to get it to Fay, but he was out of bounds here. So with 8 seconds left, Perm is going to get a shot to get this lead back to single digits here before the end of the first half. Looks like it's going to be Soren Anderson who wants the ball. He gets it. 6 seconds on the clock. Anderson working against Tollerud. Crosses over. Finds something to do. He's able to kick it over there to Belka. And once again, his three-pointer in the far corner is no good. So that's going to leave you here with your halftime score. Pelican Rapids 25. The Perham Yellowjackets 15. Quite an interesting half of basketball. A lot of energy. A lot of things going on. We saw a dunk from Braden Ecker. So people are jumping around in the gym, and it's been a fun one.
Definitely an exciting one. We're going to let you have a break while we take a break, and we'll be back just before halftime ends.
as the players start to sneak onto the field here, and by field I mean court. We're going to sneak back on the air and bring you back here to the second half of play where we find Pelican Rapids with a 10-point lead here, 25-15 with 1 minute left here on the clock. It's an exciting first half of basketball, and it really brings to mind what kind of adjustments are the coaches going to make in the halftime locker room to see that they can make some differences here. It's been a fun one, JP. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And couple stats telling the story here, and one in particular actually is turnovers. And we said coming in that Perham prides itself in defense. They really slowed down Detroit Lakes on Tuesday night, holding them to 19 in the first half. Of course, Coach Cressup in the post-game interviews online talked a lot about creating turnovers, enforcing turnovers with their defense. But it's been the Vikings who have kind of answered the bell tonight and come out. Turnovers so far, Perham with 7 of them, Vikings only with 4. And that stat may not seem that spaced out or spread out, but the Vikings have generated points off of almost all of those turnovers, and that is what's killer and what finds them ahead by 10 right now, about to start the second half here. No real big problems foul-wise. Viking starters just with 1, and that's Tanner Tollerud, and then, of course, on the Yellowjackets side, a couple players with 1 each, but then Micah Thompson, their 6'4" point guard, junior. He's sitting with 2 fouls right now. So that could play into things there as we get going in the second half. But overall, we got a good game so far, a lot of intensity. Couple things that we may see if Coach Cressup adjusts to it at halftime could be problematic for the Vikings that we saw the last couple possessions of the first half. But overall, we got a good game going here.
Speaking of that foul trouble, Thompson's going to find himself on Fay here early, and Thompson has been the most effective scorer here for Perham, so we're hoping that he can stay out of foul trouble and still be a factor for Perham. I tell you what, another thing that you have to think about here is just playing out, getting the ball in the hole here, just shooting, okay? So Perham's shooting was pretty cold in the first half, and that's coming from someone who has the highest amount of respect for Perham, understanding they are a good shooting team year in and year out. So I'm excited to see how that's going to change as we go ahead, and as Tollerud's going to pick up his second personal foul.
Well, and as you speak about that shooting percentage from the Yellowjackets, much of that lower percentage tonight comes from just the Coach Gullingsrud saying we got to get out and contest their shooters, and really the Vikings did that really well after the first minute or two.
Getting it in here, it's going to be Melvin, and he's going to get fouled by Tollerud, who's going to get his second quick foul of this half and his third personal foul. That's a big foul for Tollerud. He's going to have 3 now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Gullingsrud is going to do with his deep bench, but knowing that Tollerud is one of those guys that gives that defensive intensity. He's one of those farm kids. I tell you what, maybe northern Minnesota dairy farmer type. Maybe I'm a little impartial, but seeing Tollerud and Williams down there as the big boys for Pelican is really fun to see. As Guler's going to put up a 3, and the shooting for Pelican Rapids is going to continue here into the second half. The lead is 13 as Guler comes down with the first 3 points of this half. Anderson's going to get it over here to Melvin, finding Daniels. They're going to get into that motion offense. Looking for a screen, nothing happening. Skip pass is going to get tipped by Tollerud. Oh, and it's going to go off of Anderson. It deflected. Tollerud deflected it, but then Anderson caught a piece of it before it went into Perham's bench. So there's yet another turnover there for Perham. Guler's going to walk it up here. He finds himself on the circle, guarded there by Belka. Ecker, elbow, high-low, finds himself down to Williams. He's going to try and back Daniels down again. He had a little success in the first half, but Daniels gets the better of him there with a little bit of a deflection. They're going to call a jump ball. They're going to call a jump ball here, and that's going to go the direction of Perham. .5 minutes left to play in this one, 28-15 Vikings. Tollerud finds himself with a steal and a finish on the other end. That's once again talking about those points off turnovers. Not every turnover is built the same, especially when it's one of those live ball scenarios where you're able to have a clear path look at the hoop. Pelican has had a few of those here early in this. Well,
and it's good to see Tanner Tollerud still playing aggressive defense after picking up that third. I think everybody, including us, was a little surprised he's still on the floor right now, and he's continued to go out and be aggressive towards the ball.
that goes to that confidence that Gullingsrud has in Tollerud. I think he understands Tollerud's a pretty smart player. He's not going to get into foul trouble if he doesn't have to. So I'm glad that Gullingsrud has the confidence to leave him on the floor here with 3. Ecker on the far wing. He surveys, finds Guler in the far side corner. Vikings are trying to get a little bit of motion offense going here, being patient. Tollerud has a little bit of a lane, finds Guler. Similar spot as his last 3. No good, but long rebound's going to go to Fay. Top of the key here, Williams. Vikings are going to reset, find its way to Tollerud. Handoff. Kick out Ecker. Nothing doing. Tries to find its way into Guler. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Perham. So Vikings are going to do a little substitution here, and they're going to have a baseline inbounds. Luke Soley coming back in the game off the bench, and Peyton Blakeway, both making a huge impact there in that first half coming in for the Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Soley was one of the top players in the half. He only had 2 points, but his work defensively, especially off the ball, was really effective.
Hunter Williams there gives a screen there, and it was some tough playing by Belka. They collided and found themselves on the court for a little minute there. The big boy, Fay, 24-footer right in front of the Pelican bench. He splashes it home, and you tell me you can have guys with that kind of size who can shoot like that. That is some really, really fun stuff to watch. And Williams is going to get called here for the foul on the shot on Thompson, and Thompson's going to go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, big shot from Fay on that last possession for the Vikings.
You've seen that a couple times where it's not a great shot until he makes it, and then it's a great shot. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that as Thompson misses his first free throw attempt there.
Yeah, when I played for Coach Strand in the early 2000s, we always called it the no, yes shot because he would yell out at one of our players, no, and then it would go in and he'd yell yes.
Thompson not able to connect on the second here, so the Vikings are going to go ahead and get the ball back up 18. I'm a math teacher, but I had to check my math as I looked at the scoreboard. 33-15 here early in the second half, 14:30 remaining.
Well, and vital for Perham as they're trying to chip away at this lead. They go down and get 2 free throws, and they miss them both. It's just incredibly critical.
And they're going to call Fay here for a loose ball foul. Looks like he had a bit of a push on Thompson. You can tell there's a bit of frustration here for Perham. I don't know if they've been in this situation yet this year, and maybe they have. But if they have, hopefully they're able to respond here because it is definitely not out of reach. We're a few possessions, a few shots away from something happening where it's a very close game. Blakeway's going to get called for a foul. A bunch of quick fouls for the Vikings. They find themselves with 5 team fouls here early in the second half with 0 for Perham.
Well, the reality is, Logan, when you're playing really aggressive defense, you're probably fouling about 70% of the time anyways, and it's just whether or not the officials want to always call it. So,
and as a guy who has refed some games, it is tough when you get a standard of play, when there's it's an established physicality there. It's hard as a ref to be able to work with that because you want to be consistent if you're an official. I feel like the officials have been consistent tonight, but when there is all that physicality, it becomes hard there to make calls when there's just contact.
Well, and it's called touch-tight defense for a reason. You got your hands on them if you're doing your job.
Looking at these Perm guys, they've been having some physical plays here, and Soley's going to put up a 3. That's no good. But even that, I just saw Thompson having really physical D on Tollerud. It was great defense, but there definitely was contact. So it's hard to say, it's hard to make that decision as an official as what is a foul and what is not. Daniels is going to get it here near side corner, trying to make something happen. Thompson, he'll spin a couple times, try and finish, and it's no good. And they're going to get Thompson with a little bit of a reach-in foul as he was running in transition. Those are one of those cheap ones you don't want to get when it's in transition and it's not pertinent to the possession. But that's going to be his 3rd foul of the game into Pelican Rapids' first timeout here. So John Gullingsrud is going to take a timeout, wants to reevaluate where his team is at here going in with 13:27 to play in the second half.
Well, and I've talked a lot in the games I've announced this year, Logan. These timeouts are teaching moments for the coaches. And you say, well, why is he taking a timeout here? He's up 18. Perham's not on a run. But the game is starting to have a little bit of a feel that it's slipping away. You got Thompson, who's focused on a lot of things. He's yelling at the officials. He's got a student section that's jawing at him, and he's starting to yell back at them. And our players are the Viking players are starting to get into it a little bit too. And I think Coach Gullingsrud, first and foremost, just wants to refocus the team on the task at hand. What is happening here tonight that they need to focus on? It's not the crowd. It's not the officials. They need to focus on actually playing their game that's got them into this situation where they're 18 points ahead.
This is going to be one of those crazy hot takes of mine for the day, but basketball kind of is like the stock market, okay? When there's a lot of volatility there, things can go south very fast. And even though there is an 18-point lead with 13 or so minutes left, you can't be too careful with your Coach Gullingsrud. And with those tempers and emotions really high, I think he just wanted to take a timeout, let things settle. If you feel you're the better basketball team tonight, just get back to something stable where you feel like you can sustain an effort here for the last bit of the game.
Absolutely. It's good coaching. You got 5 timeouts throughout the night. You might as well use them.
Guler is going to go ahead and hand it off to Soley at the top of the key. He's guarded by Anderson. Anderson finds it back to Guler on the far side. He's going to get a screen from Fay. Definitely tough defense by Perham. Good stuff. Williams is fighting for the rebound, and Pelican's going to come up with it. It's Fay. Thompson with an aggressive swipe at the ball. It didn't get called, and they're going to call a travel on Fay. Down low here. He kind of slowed his steps a little bit, and I think they made the right call here to get him with a travel. Bringing it up here is Thompson here for Perham. And go ahead and Thompson, far side wing, finds himself getting it back to Ohm. Good footwork by Ohm to get a three-point shot off, but it's far right. I tell you what, I have not seen, I shouldn't say anything, but it's been a cold night shooting for Perham, and I have not seen them shoot like this. You know, is what I expect of Perham, which is always to have three knockdown shooters. Just hasn't been there tonight, but things can change. Shooters shoot, let's keep shooting. If you're Perham, with all the respect to them, just keep shooting and see if they start to fall. That's going to be out of bounds off of Perham, so that's going to be another turnover here for the Yellowjackets, and that's going to have John Gullingsrud's going to go ahead and put 2 more subs into the game. Brady Petznick comes in for Ian Fay, and coming in for Timmy Guler is number 2, Braden Ecker.
That was turnover number 10 there for the Yellowjackets tonight, as Luke Soley is going to take over point guard duties with Guler going to the bench.
That's something that's very, very valuable. If you can have someone who can play the point guard enough to make things happen, as Anderson's going to get called for his... That's his first personal, and that's a Perham second team foul. If you can have someone play point guard enough, and that's going to be Luke Soley for the Vikings, while Guler gets a bit of a breather, it's so important to be able to have your point guard get a break, because he's also guarding the point guard. And if he doesn't have that kind of intensity on defense because he's tired, you really definitely need that. Soley, top of the key. He's going to find himself getting it to the far corner to Blakeway. Vikings trying a bit of a motion. Petznick looking for something to happen. Gets it out to Soley. He has to save it back to Williams. Vikings are going to reevaluate. Petznick, top of the key. He'll take a few dribbles here. Try and back down Thompson. He's going to find himself getting a steal there from Melvin. So the Vikings turn it over, and Thompson's going to try and make something work for Perham. On the floor, a little bit of a hand check here by Blakeway. He's going to get called. That is Peyton Blakeway's 3rd personal foul, and that's going to have Coach Gullingsrud go ahead and get Tanner Tollerud back in the game, who also has 3 fouls. But I think it's one of those things, I think Gullingsrud might have more trust in Tollerud with 3 than Blakeway with 3 here. Especially guarding, with Blakeway guarding Thompson, he has the ball a lot. He's very aggressive, so it's one of those things that maybe try and give him a different look. Right now, Brady Petznick is going to be guarding Thompson. Anderson is able to get it to the top of the key here to Daniels. Daniels looking to reverse, nothing doing. Gets it over here to Melvin. Melvin finds it to number 24. That's Austin Onison. That's his first time here in the game. That shot's no good. Rebounded by Petznick. Tollerud with quite the pass, full court up top. Williams, that's one of those no-yes passes as he does a one-hand slinger up to the other farm kid, Hunter Williams. Oh, Soley's got an open look. He's going to try and lay it in. And there's another turnover that turns into 2 points here for the Vikings. 37-15 with 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. A 22-point lead here for the Vikings.
Soley's playing as good as we've seen him all season. Just confident, focused, making aggressive moves, talking a lot on the defensive end, and getting a little bit of a reward with some points there.
And Thompson's three is no good. They're going to call Daniels here on that loose ball foul, trying to get a rebound, found himself pushing there on Ecker. That's one of those things, and we talked about it. This team has athletes, this Pelican Rapids team, but it's a matter of executing and playing with communication and focus and toughness. They've done it so far for the first, 26 minutes of this game. Let's see if they can do it for the last 10. Ecker, top of the key here, finds Petsnick. Petsnick's going to go ahead, try and get it to Williams, but he's going to go ahead and get it to Soley instead. Tollerud with some space. Now Melvin guards him a little bit. Hands off Williams. Looks like the Vikings are playing at about 25 feet away. You'd like to see them be a little bit more aggressive. Tollerud's going to try and push the envelope. Right hand finish. Gets the bounce. 39-15 here for the Vikes, and that's going to force Thompson's going to call the timeout here for Coach Cressup. And that's going to get a roar from the Pelican Rapids fans and the Pelican Rapids bench. As with 9:54 here, we have a 24-point lead for Pelican Rapids. You got to feel good if you're Coach John Gullinsrud and these Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of action tonight, too, in the HOL Conference, Logan. Let's talk about it. This past week, Holly defeated Rotse. Barnesville beat McRae down in Wilmer in a thriller, 72-71. Breckenridge lost to Zimmerman, 58-55. Frazee beat Park Christian in another thriller, 59-58. DGF beat Hiawatha College Prep, 74-62. And in action tonight, a lot of games in the conference, not necessarily conference games, though. Bagley is at Frazee. Thief River Falls, the top team in the section, taking on the fourth best team in the section, the Holly Nuggets. Breckenridge making a trip to the Esco Eskimos. Esco's got a busy couple nights with HOL teams here. BGMR taking on Barnesville tonight, and Warroad is taking on DGF, ironically, in Barnesville.
What?
I have no idea. But here's the question for you, Logan. What is the tie between Esco Eskimos and Pelican Rapids basketball?
I have no clue.
Esco was the first-round state opponent in 2003, which would have been the first year Brad Strand took a team to the state tournament.
Oh, man.
So two teams from the HOL taking on the Esco Eskimos in the next tonight and tomorrow.
I can't say I remember that. When I was at my youngest, I think second grade was 2006, when that crew with Tyler Scott and Adam Johnson and Taylor Hughesby went and tried to go at the state tournament, but they played Brom, I remember, in that game, in that first-round game. Guler's going to bring it up here for the Vikings. And he's going to find a wide-open Fay who's going to score for two. The Vikings eclipse 40 points as they have 41 with 9:20 to go. A 26-point lead here for the Vikings. Talking about this non-conference schedule with the rest of the HOL, there's 5 games. Every single one of them was with a team further north than us. And Anderson's going to go ahead and score for the Yellowjackets. Just looking at this team, Frazee Bagley, right? Bagley, Thief River Falls, Esco, Badger, Greenbush, Middle River, and Warroad. That's a bunch of bus rides here on a Friday night.
It is a bunch of bus rides, but you look at the section that we're in up in the north now, that's who the team's playing. So if they're not in your conference,
they're going to call it charge here. Braden Ecker's going to draw one on Anderson. Anderson's not happy. He thinks Ecker was in the circle. I don't think he was, but I'm not sure if he had quite the position to get that call, but it was good defense. It was really good defensive positioning. Just a big momentum boost there for the Vikings as Anderson's starting to pick it up here. He's playing with some frustration. He wants to go ahead and see if he can get some kind of thing going.
Coach Cressup picks up a technical foul.
That technical looks like Timmy Guler's going to shoot the free throws here for the Vikings. That's one of those things as a coach. You're willing to do it so that your player doesn't get that technical, right? You're willing to try and do something that slows things down, maybe gets your team together, lets you, as a coach, lets your team know that you're on their side, you're trying to back up for them.
And I think it's just general frustration right now. They have really struggled tonight, top to bottom, with what they're trying to do. And as the fouls have kind of evened out here now, 6-4, I think some of them they've kind of questioned of this was allowed earlier in the game and now you're calling stuff. And so I think there's some genuine frustration from Perham of how a lot of things are going on tonight. And And sometimes when you're the bully and you get sucker punched in the mouth, it takes you a little while to understand or recover from what happened.
Sure.
So,
and as Guler connected on one or two of the free throws, the Vikings are going to get the ball back here. That is one of those things, and it's speaking with the utmost respect to Perham and the program. When you see a game like this where a very, very, I think Pelicans playing at the top of their potential tonight as Guler is able to get an and one opportunity here, finishes, gets his 12th point of the night and the 44th point for Pelican Rapids. He's going to shoot the and one free throw here. You got a team like Pelican who's got athletes, and they're playing at what I think is probably the top of their potential against a Perm team who's, I don't know if the shots just aren't going or whatever, but even if they are a good team, it can be frustrating. Maybe you've never been in this kind of position this early in the season. So hopefully a good learning moment for Perm.
Guler with his 13th point there. And as so much of what we've talked about tonight, much of their poor shooting comes back to contested shots. The previous possession where they had a three-point attempt, it was very much contested by Brady Petznick. And then on the other end, the Vikings are just growing in confidence. We see guys going to the basket, taking shots who wouldn't normally shoot just because it's going in for everybody else.
That's a big deal.
Why not take it myself? And when everybody starts to feel that, it's kind of the rising tide lifts all boats, and that's kind of where we find ourselves right now.
Absolutely. That's going to be out of bounds here for the Vikings. They have their another turnover. Daniels is going to bring it in here for Thompson. Thompson walks it up the floor, finds himself on the far side. He's going to get a screen from Daniels. No, he's going to refuse it. Now Daniels reverses it over to Melvin. Melvin to Belka handoff. Thought about a three, then goes and drives. He's going to get called. That's going to be Brady Petznick who's called for a foul, and it's going to be 2 shots here for the Yellowjackets. No trouble for Petznick. That's his first foul, but that does put Perm in the bonus. This is a shooting foul regardless, but any foul further for the Vikings on the Jackets is going to turn into a 1-and-1 bonus free throw. Belka is not able to get that first one to go. Hunter Williams comes back in here for the Vikings for Petznick here. Petznick put in some very meaningful minutes here for the Vikings, and he's one of those, I think they are, what I see is 4 guys deep here. They play 9 right now, and he's one of those guys that off the bench really put in some valuable minutes for the Vikes tonight. Belka unable to make that happen. 0 for 2 from those free throws. Tollerud almost lost it. Now Guler has it. Perm playing very frantically, and Ecker is going to be able to take advantage. They're turning up the pressure here on this full court stuff, trying to speed up the Vikings. It's what they need to do. Vikings, even though it's a little sketchy, were able to finish that with a layup here. They're going to call a blocking foul, and they're going to count it. Timmy Guler's going to get called there for the blocking foul, and they're going to count the continuation here. So it's going to be an and one opportunity for, look at that, Micah Thompson. The leading scorer for Perm finds himself in double digits now with 10. He's going to try and make it 11 here. And he does. So Perm eclipses 20 points here now, and with 7 minutes and 21 seconds, still plenty of time. It's a 27-point lead for the Vikings. And that's going to force a timeout here from John Gullingsrud. A lot of pressure here on that inbound, so Gully's going to go talk about it, get these guys to settle down.
Coming up for the Vikings next up in their season on Monday night, they will be playing here at home against the Ada Borup Cougars. Of course, their previous game, the Vikings lost a heartbreaker in the holiday tournament here, the Minnesota National Bank Classic, when they went down 50-48 to the West Central Area Knights. Leading the Vikings that night was Hunter Williams with 16, Timmy Guler with 13, and Braden Ecker had 7. That evening. Our leading scorers tonight, Timmy Guler has 13 for the Vikings, and Ian Fay with 11 himself. Then we also have Tanner Tollerud with 6. Tanner Tollerud with 8 according to my score sheet, and Hunter Williams with 6.
Isn't that annoying when the scoreboard doesn't agree with your scorebook? We have to talk to Bill Simmons down here, the scoreboard operator, and see if we can settle something. That's something that's so interesting about this Viking squad, though. Every night it could be someone different, really.
Absolutely.
No one's going to go out and score 35, but somebody could have, one of 5 guys could have 18.
Yeah, we leading scorers for the Vikings. We have 14, 13, 10, and 7, and then you have 4 guys basically averaging 5 rebounds.
Backdoor cut finds a 2-hand jam. That is not easy to do, folks. literally found a backdoor cut. What a pass by Tollerud. And he's able to readjust, reevaluate, and send that home. It's fun to watch here. Live sports. We're back. Oh, that's just fun. You don't see that kind of athleticism very often in northern Minnesota. As Thompson with a little nifty split of the double team, and he's going to score for 2.
Getting back to that previous possession, the athleticism by Ecker on that play to catch it backdoor and stuff it is, we have not seen athleticism like that.
That's a quick shout out to Mr. Kerry Haugard and the lead producer, student producer here, Chris Hovden. We need to get a replay going here. We need a slow motion replay for both of these dunks tonight. This has been something fun to watch here for the Pelican Rapids Vikings. Guler here on the near side wing. He's going to try and survey. They want to be patient here. 6 minutes to go. No shot clock. See if the Vikings can't get a great shot. Tollerud handoff Williams. Far side wing here is Guler. Guler going to try and drive baseline, and they're going to get Daniels here with a little foul on the floor. Looks like he held him a little bit. For Daniels, that's his 3rd personal foul, and that is Perham's 6th team foul. So any foul on Perham now is going to put the Vikings in the bonus after this one. It's going to be a baseline inbounds here, though. Tanner Tollerud is going to take it out for the Vikings. Looks like a stoppage here. The officials want to talk something over on the at the timetable here. They're talking to the scorekeeper, Chris Coleman. So it looks like there is a correction. They want to say the scorebook had 17 fouls. The scoreboard only had 6. That's what I was taking my information from. But it looks like there are 17 fouls for Perham, and it's going to make it a 1-and-1 bonus. They're going to try and figure out who's taking the shot. It was Timmy Guler, but hopefully and Timmy Guler was subbed out. So how are they going to handle this, JP? You know how they'd handle this.
I have no idea how they're going to handle this.
They subbed out Timmy Guler, but Timmy Guler was the person who got fouled. So he's going to have to take the shot, I would think. But now Guler is nowhere to be seen on the sideline. So I'm not sure if he had to run to the restroom or whatever, but this is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a high school basketball game.
Absolutely.
So Blakeway is going to take the shots here for Guler, who got subbed out before there was a miscommunication with how many team fouls there were. Blakeway hits.
Blakeway might be one of the first people to ever get subbed into a game to shoot free throws.
I have no clue how that happened, but that's a good thing Blakeway is able to make the first. Let's see if he gets the second. He does. So little trickery by Gullingser trying to put his stud free throw shooter Peyton Blakeway out there for Guler, but it worked out, and Anderson's going to try and put it up for Perm. Nothing doing. There's a tie-up down low. They're going to call a foul on the Vikings. Let's see who this one goes against. There were a few Vikings down there trying to contest here. They're going to give it to Hunter Williams, number 20, his 2nd personal, 9th team for the Vikes. Guler now walking back here to the bench, probably wondering what's going on as everyone's laughing about it over here on the Vikings bench. And that was Anderson able to connect here on the first free throw. 51-23. Vikings have a comfortable lead with 5:46 remaining here in the second half. Lots of action tonight. Now it's a little bit more subdued here as we're kind of just in the rhythm here of a later game that doesn't seem like it's contested. We'll have to see here. Perm now trying to pick up the intensity as they trap Soley. Soley gets it to Tollerud in this corner. Tollerud with another one of those passes. That one couldn't connect, but Williams is going to come up with it. Gullingsrud, I can hear him yelling, just saying, settle. Play your best game here. Don't go crazy. Soley puts a little ball fake on Anderson, which got the oohs and ahs from the crowd. A lot of dribbling here around half court. It's Fay now trying to work on Thompson. They're going to call a foul here on Belkin. That's going to send Fay to the line for 1-and-1 free throw bonus. Excuse me. It's not completely out of the question here with 5:13, but it does seem like Perm has lost a little bit of that edge. They're playing with a little intensity, but not enough to really do some damage based on what I see. I see a lot of I think it's little spurts. There's still little spurts of energy, but it's not the full-fledged effort they're going to need to try and get out of this 28-point hole.
Well, and the Vikings have continued to play with the intensity they brought early in the game. And that paired with Perham's gone to the line and missed 5 free throws here in this half. Those two things have just kind of spread this margin out more and more. And
Tollerud goes ahead and takes a timeout here for the Vikings as he couldn't find anywhere to throw that ball. So before getting a 5-second call, he's going to go ahead and put it on the sideline and see if it can't reset here. Great teaching moments here for John Gully through trying to talk about how can we finish out a game cleanly, right? How can we, in a Heart of Lakes game, make this look like we were the better team all along? Try not to make a sloppy finish of this.
Well, and there's little things going on, too, that in a game of this situation, we see the Vikings huddle up every time there's a free throw, and we see one of the Perham guys trying to wedge his way in there and talk to him as they're trying to talk. And there's still a lot of trash talking going on the court. And I think in these types of games, if you're not careful, if you're as a coach, you can let your team kind of mentally wander and find yourself in a place that is far from where you want it to be. Yeah. And so just opportunities to refocus, as you said.
Absolutely, and keep the levels of sportsmanship high, as I'm sure both coaches, Cressup and Gullingsrud, are trying to do here. It's one of those things, like you had mentioned earlier, it's kind of a big brother, little brother relationship. Perham has had the big brother relationship for the last 8 years, and seeing themselves down 28 is something that has not happened in a long time.
Not in the HOL conference.
So that's going to be a foul here. I'm not sure who they're going to...
No, they stopped it because... Belka got hit in the head.
Oh, okay.
And so he had to go out.
Okay.
But the official, Craig Samuelson, down on the baseline here, he was the one who made the call. It was his timeout, so then the ball just remains with the Vikings.
Make that happen. Guler's able to find a cutting Williams, and Williams is going to score here for 2 points. 53-23, 30-point lead here for Pelican Rapids. That's going to be a rebound here. Ohm is going to skip it over to Anderson. Anderson's going to pull from 3. That's short. Thompson here with the rebound. He'll try and put it up. He'll score and count it. And 1 free throw here to come here. 3-point opportunity for Perham and Thompson.
Offensive rebounds there just make the Perham Yellowjacket possession continue. But you see the 2 3-point shots they took there. 2 smallest guys on the court for Perham, both 5'9". They're trying to shoot over Hunter Williams, who is 6'2", and over Ian Fay, who is 6'6". Those are contested shots. Those are going to be hard shots to make all night long for any shooter. And that's been the story of the game. It's just contested shots from the Vikings to the Yellowjackets all night.
Rested down low, got a feed from Williams, couldn't quite make the layup work, so Perham's going to take it the other way. Good find by Thompson. Thompson's going to get fouled from Williams. Thompson came up, got up there strong with 2 hands like he wanted to try and throw it down. I don't know if he would have made it. It was close. He's got the athleticism definitely to throw it down, so Williams is going to foul him pretty hard to avoid that from happening. And so Thompson's going to go ahead and have 2 free throws, or excuse me, that's Anderson. Anderson went up hard. Anderson's got the athleticism to throw down. Anderson makes the first free throw here, and he'll try and make the second. And that's 8 points now for Anderson. He's going to try and make it 9 with the second. Quite the different story if you just look at stat lines when he played Detroit Lakes in that 81-57 victory where he had 27 points and 13 rebounds. Anderson goes ahead and makes 2 for 2 here from the line. Tollerud's able to get it here for Fay. They get it back to Fay. And they trust Fay, I guess, to do some dribbling over here. For a 6'6 junior, that's pretty good to see. Guler's going to go ahead, find a layup, and he'll get the roll. Tell you what, the Vikings haven't missed many layups. They've been pretty good down there finishing around the bucket. Now number 24, that's Arneson. He's back in the game here for the Yellowjackets. He's going to go get it over to Anderson. Anderson skip Ohm to Ohm. That's deflected and stolen here by the Vikings. Trying to go coast to coast is Fay. Looked a little Gumby-ish, but he made it happen. I remember I coached Ian Fay back in the day here. I coached Ian Fay back in the day in Babe Ruth baseball, and we used to call him Gumby, but he's really gotten his feet underneath him as scoring the and one opportunity here is Anderson again. That's one of those things. That looked very similar to a play that that Faye, I'm going back to Faye's layup there. It looked very similar to something earlier in the game where he got called for a travel. He's just such a big, lanky guy, and when his feet slow down a little bit to try and get balance, it can really look like he's traveling because he moves so far with so few steps. It's kind of one of those things. Didn't get called there. Able to make the and one opportunity there. That was Belkin.
Logan, I tell you what, this game tonight just blows up what the conference looks like or what the expectations are. And I think the Vikings have to start thinking after tonight about, can we contend for a conference championship this season? And teams like the Holly Nuggets, I know Coach Stoa up there, he's going to be looking at this result and saying, hey, we're in the driver's seat now.
Absolutely. I think Perham has always kind of been that going into the season. You expect them to be the conference champions, or at least they're the team to beat. They have 2 early losses here to Pelican and Barnesville, and they haven't even played Holly yet. So
and Barnesville's sitting on 1 loss already as well in the conference. And
exactly.
So it's wide open. The Vikings kind of...
As Rested connects for a 3, continue, JP.
It leaves the door open for the Vikings to kind of be in control of their own destiny here. And if they come out and play like this every night, they're going to be a really tough team to beat all season long.
Absolutely. It's super fun to see multiple teams have an ability to win here in this conference. You know, Holly obviously the favorite right now with a 6-0 record and 2-0 in the conference. But then you have this game right here, and then you have Perham, who's still, just because of this one game. I don't want to face them over in Perham. I'm excited to see how that game is going to wind up when Pelican has to go to Perham after this result tonight.
Yeah, they 100%. Coach Cressup won't have to say anything going into the rematch at their place later this year. They will mentally be ready for what the Vikings bring, that is for sure. But we can still enjoy this game tonight and this result tonight as it plays out here.
Absolutely, and as we're taking a look here at a timeout, it is 60-30 with just a couple minutes left to go here in this game. It's been a fun one, probably the fullest I've seen the stands here this year, and it's been really fun to watch. Had some dunks, some high-flying fouls, some frustrations, technical fouls. We had a guy shoot a free throw who wasn't even in the game when it happened. It was just one of those games as John Gullinger is going to empty the bench here. Into the game for the Vikings here is Justin Jacobson, number 40. He's a sophomore, giving it into the freshman, number 10, or trying to. That's Charlie Larson. And then Jaden Ripley, as well as Titan Marich in for the Vikings. And lastly, the last guy on the bench that's making his way into here is Gabe Johnson. So fun to see some of these JV guys get some minutes here for the Vikes. And for Perham, it looks like they've emptied their bench a little bit too here. Number 21, Gage Onison, as well as number 22, Michael Schwantz are into the game for the first time for Perham. Ohm is going to drive baseline, try and find it into 5 there. Onison, that's number 24. That's Austin Onison, finds the first 3-point made for the Perham Yellowjackets this game. I'm willing to say that. I'm not 100% sure. They're going to call a travel there, I'm sure. Charlie Larson will get tagged there for the travel. It's going to be a turnover. It's good to see the bench is cleared here in Pelican Rapids. It's even better to know that it's for the winning purposes of the Vikings instead of on the other end. I had plenty of games when I was playing where the benches were being cleared for another purpose. Benches go crazy, and the team goes crazy for Justin Jacobson as he gets 2 points. Oh, it's always exciting to see these young guys get to play a little bit on varsity and see them score a little bit. I'm not sure if that's Jacobson's first varsity points. Probably, maybe isn't. It's a coin toss, but it's just fun. It's really fun to see that. I know when you walk up to the timeline as a young kid thinking you're going to go play in varsity, you're wearing that orange and black. It's a really big moment for these guys to get into this game. Absolutely,
and on a night like tonight where we've got a pretty full gym, the crowd understands it as well that these JV players, this is their moment, and so they get into it as well. They're cheering for their friends.
Sure. Gage Onison wasn't able to hit that free throw. Larson here for the Vikings is going to try and get it to Ripley. Ripley tries to put it up, nothing doing. It's going to be rebounded there by Schwantz. Schwantz goes ahead, gets it up to Austin Onison. And he's going to jump stop in the lane and try and get it out. It's going to get poked away. Larson's going to try and take it the length of the floor. He's going to rip it down to Jacobson, who's going to try and put it up. Wild kind of shot, hard off the rim, does not fall, and it's going to go the way of Perham. 20 seconds and ticking here to a 28-point lead here for the Vikes. 3-point shot for Perham, no good. Larson comes down with the rebound. Finding his way up the floor is Jacobson. He scores 2 more. So as this ticks down, it looks like this is how it is going to be, how it's going to end here as the buzzer sounds. It is 64-34. Pelican Rapids gets the edge over the Perham Yellowjackets. Not exactly the score I was expecting tonight, JP. It's been a fun one, though. It was a really fun one to watch.
Absolutely, and this is what high school sports is all about, is maybe half the gym thought that it wasn't possible tonight, and the young men down there in Orange tonight said, no, it is possible, and they were in control the whole evening. So big win for the Vikings.
And like we said, this is the Heart of Lakes Conference, okay? Anything can happen. It's fun to see anything can happen, and I am so looking forward to the rematch here between the Vikings and the Yellowjackets in Perham a little bit later. Thank you so much for following along with us tonight on this live stream. We appreciate you. Once again, shout out to our production team, Mr. Kerry Haugard, Chris Hovden, and the camera crew. It's been a really fun ride here. I'm Logan Knorr alongside John Peter. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.